Detroit has produced some of the grittiest and most authentic rappers in the game, but few stories are as raw and real as the life of Dion Marquise Hayes, better known as 42 Dugg. From surviving the streets to finding a lane in music, Dugg's journey is filled with pain, setbacks, and triumphs. In this video, we're diving deep into the life of 42 Dugg, what he went through before rap, how he got his start, who helped put him on, what songs made him hot, and the real story behind his beefs and friendships in the industry, especially his bond with Lil Baby. Before the chains, shows, and Billboard hits, 42 Dugg was just another kid trying to survive the east side of Detroit. Born on November 25, 1994, Dugg grew up in the trenches. His neighborhood was rough, and so was his life. He was raised by a single mother and found himself in the streets at an early age. Like many young men in his environment, he was exposed to violence, crime, and poverty. By the time he was a teenager, Dugg was already involved in the street life, and it didn't take long before the consequences caught up with him. At just 15 years old, 42 Dugg was sent to prison. He served 6 years behind bars for carjacking, and during that time, he faced plenty of adversity. In interviews, Dugg has talked about how being locked up as a teen shaped him, mentally and emotionally. He said that during his time in prison, he had to constantly fight, and at one point, he even spent months in solitary confinement. But prison also became a place where he found himself. He began to write music, jotting down lyrics as a way to cope with the isolation and pain. That's where the seed of rap was planted. When he got out of prison, Dugg didn't immediately blow up. He had to find his sound and build his name from the ground up. He started releasing music independently, and at first, his songs didn't get a lot of traction. But his raw delivery, high-pitched voice, and real street content started catching attention in Detroit. It wasn't long before his music was circulating in the city, and eventually it made its way to Atlanta. That's when everything changed. In 2019, 42 Dugg caught the attention of Gotti and Lil Baby, two heavyweights in the rap game. They were both impressed by Dugg's authentic sound and street credibility. Rather than fighting over him, the two artists decided to sign him jointly. He inked a deal with Lil Baby's 4PF and Gotti's CMG, which gave him the best of both worlds, connections in Atlanta and Memphis, and the muscle to push his career nationally. After signing the deal, 42 Dugg dropped the project Young and Turnt, and that started building momentum. But it was his feature on Lil Baby's hit song Grace that put him on the map. The chemistry between the two was undeniable. Dugg's unique cadence cut through the beat and grabbed people's attention. That same year, he followed up with We Paid, another Lil Baby collab that became a certified hit. The song exploded on TikTok and social media, becoming an anthem for hustlers everywhere. It peaked at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and solidified 42 Dugg as more than just a street rapper. He was a star in the making. After that, Dugg kept applying pressure. He dropped Young and Turnt 2, and later in 2021, his biggest solo tape, Free Dem Boys, which was dedicated to his homies still locked up. The project featured hits like Maybach with Future and For Da Gang with Roddy Ricch. The latter paid homage to the classic Still Tippin' and became a summer banger. Dugg's voice became instantly recognizable, and his street authenticity made him stand out in a rap world full of gimmicks. But with success comes controversy, and 42 Dugg isn't a stranger to beef. He's had his fair share of run-ins with the law, social media drama, and tension with other rappers. One of the most notable situations came when he got into it with Snooty Wild, a fellow CMG artist. Though details were never fully revealed, there were rumors of tension between the two over label positioning and respect. Dugg also had issues with Roddy Ricch, despite their collab on For Da Gang. The two appeared to have a falling out in 2023, trading subliminals online. Dugg even took to Instagram, calling Roddy out for not keeping it real after working together. Still, the most talked about relationship in Dugg's career is with Lil Baby. Their bond goes beyond music, it's brotherhood. From the beginning, Baby has been vocal about how much he believes in Dugg, and they've shared stages, studios, and serious loyalty. When Dugg faced legal issues, including a federal gun charge and failing to report to prison in 2022, Baby was one of the first to stand by him publicly. The internet was buzzing when Dugg called out the system for how they treated him, saying he felt like they were trying to bury him. Through it all, Lil Baby supported him, and that loyalty hasn't gone unnoticed by fans. Outside of music, 42 Dugg has tried to remain connected to his roots. He constantly shouts out his crew, 4-2, which is tied to his neighborhood block on the east side of Detroit, the 42nd and Fenkell area. That's where the 42 in his name comes from. He reps his set heavily and stays tapped into his hometown, even while navigating fame. But staying real to the streets has also brought problems. His connection to certain Detroit street politics has made him a target both legally and in the industry. Even with all the setbacks, jail time, beefs, and drama, Dugg keeps bouncing back. His 2023 release, Last One's Left with ESTG, showed that he's not slowing down. And with CMG's continued dominance in the game, Dugg is positioned to keep climbing. He's also expressed interest in starting his own label and giving back to young artists, especially those coming out of similar situations. At the end of the day, 42 Dugg's story is more than just rap, it's survival. It's about a kid who came from the trenches of Detroit, lost years to the prison system, but still found a way to turn pain into profit. He's the voice for a generation of young men who feel forgotten, and whether you love him or hate him, his impact is undeniable. As long as he keeps dropping that real, authentic street music, there's always going to be a lane for 42 Dugg.